Hello, my name is Alexis Marquez, and this is my final evaluation presentation for my capstone course around my chosen agency, The Whole Child. My community members looking for a solution of the growing needs of families suffering through the barriers of mental health, housing, and parent enrichment. The Whole Child does this by offering three programs, resources such as access to housing support, and providing mental health services and parent enrichment education. The Whole Child's target audience are clients from low-income families from a specific service area in Los Angeles, going from Whittier to East LA. According to the Whole Child's website, 2021 to 2022 annual report, 79% are minorities and 61% of clients are female caregivers, while 38% are single parents. The Whole Child's missions and goals revolved around providing families a healthy and safe place to call home, both mentally and physically, through their programs. It is important for the Whole The evaluation for the Whole Child would be to examine the effectiveness and efficiency of living up to its mission and being a collaborative partner in providing underprivileged families with a stable home to overcome their barriers of physical and mental health. Conducting the evaluation for the Whole Child can also determine whether stakeholders want to continue to be involved in the organization based on their findings. Positive results can also encourage or influence more stakeholders to join the Whole Child's team of members. Findings presented in the evaluation can also influence changes in decision making. If there are any results that are up to par, agency can choose to changes and look into policies. Stakeholders can also discuss what changes need to be made as well. Stakeholders of the program evaluation to understand the program and agenda efficiently. Stakeholders will also be the ones to benefit from the results of the evaluation, and vice versa. Having the stakeholders present during the evaluation will assist in providing different perspectives and information that should be considered during the evaluation. Internal stakeholders are inside the company, and there are staff, employees, and board of directors. Could go up from the leadership team as well, under staff. External such as the ones presented here. Stakeholders are an important audience for the evaluation. The results of the stakeholders can influence and encourage more stakeholders in the future. Stakeholders can benefit from the organization through partnerships and supporting finance stakeholders to see their morals and intended goals being represented and reflected in the company, since it is their name, time, and finances being represented and invested. It is important to narrow down the evaluation stakeholders work group. The evaluation stakeholders work group consists of a specific set of stakeholders that need to be integrated during the evaluation process due to the major impact of the roles and findings. Having stakeholders involved in the evaluation will enhance the results and benefit in creating a collaborative environment amongst the evaluation stakeholder work group. For my evaluation stakeholder work group team, I have chosen Constanza, as she oversees all matters of strategic planning and operational management. She is also the highest role amongst the Whole Child and is serving as a spokesperson and the liaison with the community and partners as well. Stacy oversees budgeting and reporting for external and internal stakeholders, as well as has access to all financial audits. Brittany oversees the intake department and ensures that clients receive timely services, making sure that quality improvement is held within the Whole Child. Erica directs management operations and oversees the department's day-to-day logistic process, making sure contractual obligations are fully proper the service delivery. CSER ensures that the agency remains in compliance with federal, state, and county guidelines and honoring the rights of the clients. Anna oversees the mental health, nutrition, and parent enrichment departments, which I will be overlooking as well in the evaluation. Rocio oversees the parent education nutrition program. Fabiola oversees a team of field therapists serving children to address behavioral and other mental health issues. Again, these programs being the evaluations, looking into the evaluation questions. These stakeholders are a mix of internal and external. The law activities and their components. For example, it shows how partners lead advocacy and then lead to communication back into communities, answering the intended outcomes that the whole child has set. Details of partners, funding, and staff members will also be reviewed during the evaluation and see how they tie together. The evaluation can easily identify the outcomes and outputs of the agency, seeing if it relates and correlates to this mission set by the whole child. These are out of these ones, I would say the main concern I have is obtaining these resources and data outside of the website and annual report. It can also come into the issues of making sure that a certain resource is reliable and updated. This section lays out how to answer the evaluation questions. It lays out how to answer these research questions by the indicators, methods, and sources. It goes over the frequency of each question being reviewed and who to turn to for the question. It describes each of the data in a step-by-step process clearly, directly by the organized manner that is easy to navigate through. Qualitative and quantitative approaches. This will be beneficial in order to set goals and targets along the performance metrics. This will also help narrow down the outcomes based on the priorities impacted by the whole child. And the evaluations can also help in saving time and resources. Evaluation questions are how the whole child is providing housing and mental health services, through what mechanisms and arrangements. My hypothesis from this would be that they are going through an assessment process and that each case is on a case-by-case basis. Therefore, depending on what they are needing, they will be providing the different set of arrangements within the housing program. The second question is how are the housing and mental health programs functioning administratively, organized, and through personal perspectives. From here, I imagine that I would get a step-by-step rundown on how they are running their organization process, whether it be through electronic formats, paperwork, and how their filing system goes. How do the housing and mental health programs make sure that their effectiveness on clients? How do they determine the goals met? From this one, I imagine that I will be relying on the individual service plan that each client has and also be surveying and addressing personal matters. This would definitely be a qualitative research answer. And the next question is, as a nonprofit, does the whole child regularly have these resources to cover the budget? If not, what costs get cut? According to the financial and revenue report that has been listed on the annual report, I believe the answer to this would be that they are able to cover everything since they do have a positive net income after allocations. And if what gets cut, I am imagining that the programs such as the parent enrichment and education program will get cut because they are the least funded ones. How does the whole child ensure staff is properly trained with community needs? And does the whole child offer ongoing training and support? For this one, I do imagine that the whole child was offering ongoing support and meeting the community needs by through trainings, maybe team gatherings as well. And I think Caesar will also help in answering this question. Front into providing these resources and making sure that staff is well equipped. This is my communication plan that is included to ensure that these evaluation results will be utilized and translated to the real applications in order to enhance the program improvements. To focus more on advocating for the housing and mental health department. That is something that I did not see a lot throughout the annual report or the website, and not a lot of advocacy, but more than putting finances and partnering with their programs financially. My second recommendation would be to connect with partners in a prevention way by helping specifically health providers in the fields of mental health and homelessness in order to create a direct impact on housing rights by advocating for policies. My third recommendation would be that to continue the adequately managing their funds with a positive net income that can help prepare them for any future losses or preparation. My fourth recommendation will be to interpret hybrid resources into their agency, since again, because of COVID, this is also a great way to interpret safety, and along with that, also break down barriers of having people having to travel or access services in person and having to give up that time maybe from work or their children as well. That is all. Thank you so much for listening to me and for doing this presentation.